Hello, pilots, and welcome back to another X-Wing flight video brought to you by Out of Arc Gaming. As always, my name is Phil, and today we have an Empire versus Scum matchup. And joining me to discuss this, we have
James. I'm not normally playing Scum. I'm normally like Rebel or Resistance Scum, but let's see what these ships can do.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different one for you. These are not factions that you actually fly at all.
They're not, but the Y-Wings, particularly on the Scum side, are, obviously in the Rebels. They're almost in every faction at this point, the Y-Wings. The Resistance ones come out soon as of recording.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to those.
Yes, very much looking forward to that. And again, we've got them in Scum, we've got them in Rebels, and we also have them in the Republic in a slightly more armoured version. So yeah, they're in, I think it's the ship chassis that is in the most factions.
Yeah, I think with that it does overtake the TIE, the generic TIE.
Yeah, I think the closest to... I don't know, actually the TIE as well, because if you think TIE is in Empire, Scum, Rebels, and First Order, so it does match.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
And it depends on if you count the V-Wing as well, because that is technically also a TIE. I mean, that's expanding it a little bit, but
well, I mean,
yeah.
if we're counting the Republic Y-Wing, I think we can expand to maybe that as well.
Yeah.
But what have we got?
Indeed, what have we got? So we actually have Conor on the left running Empire. It's a lot of adaptive ailerons there. We have Major Vermeil in the TIE Reaper with Darth Vader and Director Krennic. We have Pure Sabak in the Striker with thermal detonators. We also have Countdown in the Striker with thermal detonators, and the lesser spotted TIE Aggressor in the form of Lieutenant Kestel with barrage rockets. So 4 ships we have actually not seen yet on the channel, so we'll see how well they fly together. What's Quinn running for us?
So Quinn has brought Drea Renthal in the Y-Wing with Cutthroat, Dorsal Turret, Plasma Torpedoes, R5P8, and Contraband Cybernetics, as well as an Amaxine Warrior with Cutthroat, Targeting Synchronizer, Advanced Proton Torpedoes, an R3 Astromech, and 2 hired guns, both with Cutthroat, Advanced Proton Torpedoes, Contraband Cybernetics, and Afterburners.
Afterburners on a Y-Wing.
Yeah, I really like that. That sounds fun because it's so unexpected. You're flying up against it. Okay, they can only really move this fast, and then they boost.
I mean, when Quinn sent me the list, I had to be like, I don't know, if you made a mistake there, Afterburners, are you sure? Is that right? And he was like, yep, that's right. I'm like, only Quinn would put Afterburners on a Y-Wing.
I also really like how many upgrades Quinn has that use charges, because he also has Cutthroat on everyone.
It's such a great combination.
So Cutthroat is... After another friendly ship at range 0 to 3 is destroyed, if that ship is limited or has the Cutthroat upgrade, so in Quinn's case, everyone, you may remove one of your orange or red tokens or recover 1 non-recurring charge on your ship card or one of your equipped upgrade cards. So if someone dies, everyone else could maybe get another torpedo or another Afterburners.
Or Contraband Cybernetics, or anything, really.
Yeah, there's so many options.
I mean, the upgrades that they've got, those cheap faction-specific upgrades, Cutthroat, Heroic, Disciplined, Hopeful, I really like them. They're so flavorful for their faction as well.
Yes.
That they just seem right. And they are really good. I mean, obviously the 2 I think we see the most is Heroic and Fanatical, because I think they're the older 2 and they're the ones that everyone knows. But Cutthroat is...
I think we're going to start seeing more Cutthroat.
Yeah. And I've seen a few lists that run quite a lot of Disciplined as well, which works really well for the Empire.
Okay.
So it's nice to have sort of like a unifying talent slot upgrade there that does fit so well with the flavour of that faction.
Now you've played far more Imperials than me. What do you think of Connor's list?
I think it's interesting. I do really like the TIE Reaper. I will admit I've not flown it for about a year, but I think it's a cool chassis, especially with the things you can do on there.
Because moving into version 2, it's gone up to a medium base, right?
Yes. I mean, it only really just sort of came into version 1. It was one of the 2 packs that were the dual versions.
Yes.
And yeah, it went from a small base to a medium base. And I mean, look at the size of it. Like
it's definitely a medium base.
Yeah, it was like the Punisher or the K-Wing or the Ark on a small base just didn't look right. It looked right on a medium base. So, but it's quite a cool ship. It's got fairly good amount of health. It's got 6 hull and 2 shields. It's got quite a bit of red on its dial, unfortunately, which is a shame. But it does have a stop,
and it can carry some crew.
It can carry 2 crew, which is really good. In fact, it can do 2 crew, a modification, and a talent. And I was a big fan of running it with Admiral Sloane. Connor's gone for Krennic and Vader, which again is a really good combination. So, as we all know, with Vader, start the engagement phase, choose one ship in your firing arc at 0 to 2, spend a force charge. If you do, that ship suffers 1 damage unless it chooses to remove 1 green token. Now that works really well with Vermeil, as his ability, while you perform an attack, if the defender does not have any green tokens, you may change one of your blank or focus results to a hit.
Yeah, that combination just sounds brutal. And on the medium base, it's a wider arc at the front for Vader.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, it's one of those things of, do I take damage now, or do I basically guarantee that my opponent is going to get a hit later?
Yeah, the only situation where not having the token kind of benefits you is if they already roll all of the damage and they don't need to change a die, I guess. Yeah. But in that case, you're still taking the damage.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a really thematic place to put Krennic as well on a Reaper, as obviously it was all from Rogue One, but Krennic is great as well. So he actually has the configuration card Optimized Prototype, or the condition card, sorry. And what you do at the beginning of the, before placing forces, you assign that to one of your ships, one of the friendly ships, and that has actually been assigned to Countdown, I believe. What this does, whilst that ship performs a primary attack against a ship locked by a friendly ship with the Director Krennic upgrade, so whatever Major of Meals got locked, you may spend 1 hit, crit, or focus result. If you do, choose 1. The defender loses a shield, or the defender flips one of its face-down damage cards.
That's a really good ability.
Yeah, it's really good. Correction, I believe that's actually on Pure Sabak. Which again works really well with Pure Sabak and his ability to get an additional attack if he's got 1 or fewer damage.
And it makes sense considering how Connor's flying it with Pure Sabak being next to Vermeil.
Yeah. But it's really cool, those 3 ships. Like the adaptive ailerons, they can move quite fast. It takes a bit of time to get used to the fact that before you actually do your move, you are essentially doing a boost with them first. So you do have to sort of keep that in mind. But once you get the hang of it, it's really good. And the fact that the strikers now actually have a payload slot, is that something they didn't have in version 1. So chucking thermal detonators on them, I mean, it's almost guaranteed that they're definitely going to get away from those bombs and not hit themselves.
Yeah, being able to just immediately move 1 speed away from thermal detonators that you're dropping is fantastic.
Yeah.
As you say, it's basically guaranteeing it, unless you're doing some weird tight turn, but why would you be doing that and dropping bombs?
Yeah, I mean, that would be a bit silly. But obviously, we've got Quinn with those Y-Wings. which, as we know with Y-Wings, they might not have the best green dice count, but they have got quite a lot of health to chew through.
Yeah,
so I think that's be interesting.
The Reaper has the same health, but Connor's only got one of them.
Yeah. I mean,
and, it's a lot of health to get through, but these Imperial ships can dish out a lot of damage.
I mean, that's sort of one of the signature things of the Empire, is that their ships don't have a lot of health. They rely on their maneuverability. They rely on their green dice. So, I mean, both the strikers have 3 red dice attacks. Pure Sabak, as I said, will have 4 dice if he's not damaged more than once. 5 dice at range 1. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Whereas the Y-Wings will need to try and line up for their torpedoes to sort of match that damage output.
Yeah. I mean, that is something that's going to be a bit trickier there for Quinn. Obviously, Quinn having the initiative is good because he gets to shoot first, but it does allow Conor that knowledge of knowing where everything is. So if he's got a move dialed in with one of those strikers or the Reaper, which he decides, actually, I need it to go slightly different, he can adjust what he's going to do.
Yeah,
with his
the
adaptive
ailerons definitely help avoid any bumping on the field.
Yeah. And with the ailerons, the only time that they don't have to do it is if they're stressed.
Yes, or if you're, is it Countess or something?
Duchess.
Duchess, that's the one.
Duchess, yes.
I'm thinking of Riyadh.
I think Countess, right. Yeah. No, Duchess is the one that can choose to do it or not, which is really good. It's really good. It makes it even more interesting. You really don't know what your opponent's going to do when you've got that.
But Pure Sabak and Countdown are both very good as well.
Yeah. I mean,
I also quite like that we've got this printed asteroid field on the board, and the obstacles are basically in it.
Yeah, it's quite nice. I don't know whether they intentionally positioned them like that, but if they did, thank you, Conor, thank you, Quinn. I like it.
I also quite like seeing the newer black sort of stealth Y-Wing showing up.
Yeah, that is quite cool from the Fugitives and Collaborators pack. I mean, we actually have a full mix of Y-Wing. Well, not quite a full mix. We've got the original Rebel Y-Wings, we've got the original Scum Y-Wing, and the new Scum Y-Wing in there.
Yeah.
So it is really cool. So, but I'm really interested to see how these Y-Wings try and combat the maneuverability of the Empire here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like most of the time against sort of hard to catch ships, you kind of just slowly roll in with a wide net and hope you can get some damage.
Yeah. I mean, at the moment, it looks like Quinn is trying to draw Conor through those obstacles, which makes the adaptive ailerons even trickier. It's not only do you have to worry about where you're going to be with those, it's also where you end up and where your next move will be. Because
technically they're not like a boost or a barrel roll, so you could ailerons onto an obstacle, I think.
Yes, because it's just execute a white forward 1 or bank 1 maneuver. It's not a execute a boost. So you can actually get yourself onto an obstacle. And if you're really unfortunate, you could ailerons onto an obstacle and then aileron yourself, then move yourself again
over the obstacle. You still have to do your move. Yeah.
You could double damage yourself there, which would be ideal to try and avoid.
So Kestel has the barrage rockets.
Mm-hmm.
Can you remind me how those work?
They work great. I do like barrage rockets. So it's attack, focus, spend 1 charge. If the defender is in your bullseye, you may spend 1 or more charges to reroll that many attack dice. Range 2 to 3, 3 attacks, and you get 5 charges with that. So it's just, it's a really nice. Cool. It's nice to have a munition that you don't need to spend you don't need to have a target lock for. So you don't have to worry about, right, who am I going to lock? Are they still going to be an arc, etc.?
Yeah, the freedom of choice by just having it be, oh, you just need a focus, is fantastic.
Yeah, there's not many that actually have that freedom of choice. I think you're looking at the S-Threads, Proton rockets are the other two in the missile slot. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think any of the torpedoes actually.
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
But most of them obviously require a target lock, which is going to be quite tricky. But I'm pretty sure Quinn obviously is likely to have a similar situation with that, with the fact that he's got a lot of munitions there. But he has actually, to combat that, is taking the targeting synchronizer.
Yeah, and R3 Astromech, both on the Amaxine Warrior.
Yeah, that's a great combination. So getting the two locks from R3, and then with targeting synchronizer, while a friendly ship at range 1 to 2 performs an attack against the target you have locked, that ship ignores the target lock attack requirement. So hence you can see the Amaxine Warrior right there in the middle of that squad of Y-Wings. So
yeah, they're the one marked in green. So they're the stealth one.
Yes, that's the stealth one.
I keep calling it stealth. It's just painted black.
Yeah, but I mean, black ship on a black background, it's kind of stealthy.
It doesn't have like a stealth device or anything.
No.
I'd say there might be some shooting. Maybe.
Looks like they actually called that as being just out of range there. Although...
That's not the name of the channel.
No, it's not. But I don't know, to me, I would have thought that Pure Sabak might have just had range there, but...
I mean, if both players are happy with it, then fine.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is another one of our casual nights down at Entoyment. Just literally playing for fun and enjoying the game.
So we mentioned earlier about the ailerons. Do you think we're going to see, because who's the red one? Pure Sabak. Do you think the bank ailerons would get just around that cloud, or do you reckon they're going to have to go straight?
That's actually
try and
really...
swing in right round the back, round the side of these Y-Wings.
I mean, that's a really good thought, because obviously with that obstacle being right there,
it's close.
I mean, that is so close. It's ridiculous.
But also, I don't think that positioning helps, actually, looking at it.
Because that would get you too close to that other obstacle. I would say that your best option...
This is why I don't fly either of these ships.
I mean, not only them probably is a factor.
There's also
that, but I would say just doing a straight maneuver, and then... So I think the other option would be to do an aileron straight.
Yeah, straight is fairly safe.
And then you're either going to do a 2 hard,
I think the 2 might be too close to the right. I think the 3 is safest.
Yeah.
The question is, does Quinn realise that and just turn straight at that one?
I mean, it's going to be an interesting one to see what comes out there, and as to how aggressive Quinn goes. Does he go just purely to get those advanced proton torpedoes off and just get himself right in there?
I mean, I think the Y-Wings can definitely get in a position to spread a very wide net from here.
Yeah. I mean, in regards to the positioning of Conor's stuff anyway, it looks like he's almost funneled himself through there, especially with Countdown and Kestel.
Because of the turn order for the Y-Wings, yellow presumably goes first, sort of heads between the debris and the asteroid.
Yeah.
But then blue has to go next, so can't go too slowly, otherwise they'll just bump into the Amaxine Warrior.
Yeah, and you definitely don't want the Amaxine. The Amaxine is the one that you want your actions with.
Yeah, despite also having Drea on the team, it's like, no, I want the actions on this one.
Yeah, I mean, Drea is fantastic, especially with her ability. Obviously,
Well, yeah, because none of the others are limited, because her ability is... hang on, I've got it here. So while a friendly non-limited ship, so all of the others, performs an attack, if the defender is in your firing arc, the attacker may re-roll one attack die, which is an even bigger arc because of the dorsal turret, which I think is pointing...
it looks like
to
it's
the
pointing
left.
ship right at the moment.
Oh, ship right.
So, yeah, I mean, that is going to be really handy there, giving essentially that 180-degree field there for that additional reroll. So just the absolute modifications there are going to be crazy. And
I'm wondering if yellow's going to force any bumps by being there.
oh,
Depends how fast the countdown has gone, because with the ailerons, that's already getting pretty close.
I mean, I'd be shocked if we don't see at least one bump there, and it's going to be between Countdown and Kestrel as to who bumps. It all depends on who.
I guess Conor does have the choice, because they are all initiative 4. You can choose who gets the bump, and I guess you let Kestrel take the action to get those barrage rockets, potentially.
Yeah, it's a really tough one. I mean, it could be that Kestrel's only doing like a 2 forward, doesn't bump, and then you deliberately bump Countdown into Kestrel so they both get shots. I mean, they'll still get shots regardless. It all depends on who they want to prioritize their shots at.
Yes.
I mean, right now, yellow bumps from Drea
bumps into blue,
but keeps everyone in her forward in her
True,
180
yes.
there. But I think right there they've got such a good shot on yellow, and at the moment nothing has actually spent a charge. So it could be this would be the time to try.
We're going to see so many charges being spent soon.
Oh yeah,
it's going to get complicated.
So there's that one straight aileron and the one hard.
Actually. Oh, the one hard.
Might see a barrel roll or something. You'd anticipate a barrel roll right there. Yeah, there we go. Again, just the crazy maneuverability of that ship. I mean, every single move it did there was a 1-speed maneuver, but it's moved so far across the board.
Yeah. Well, you kind of forget that when you do these sort of combined maneuvers, you also have to account for the ship's base itself.
Yeah.
Like, look at the speed of the ailerons on that thing.
Oh yeah, it's like when you do a boost on a large base ship, or even a barrel roll on a large base ship. Even though it uses the side of the template,
it still moves.
It still just shifts itself. And I think one of the scariest ones is like a 5K on the Lancer.
Yes.
That is just crazy. Ooh, 1 forward from Kestrel there. So getting that focus.
Takes the focus. I'm pretty sure yellow is in the bullseye there for the barrage rockets.
Yeah. Now it all depends on whether Kestrel would.
Yeah, so you want Kestrel to be in the way of Countdown rather than it fitting in.
It looks like
wing.
Countdown does fit, so
no doubling into yellow.
No, so it's a bump there, but it
does
mean
not good news for Countdown.
No, I mean they avoid at least one advanced proton torpedo, but I think they're definitely going to be eating another. But we could be seeing at least 2 advanced proton torpedoes going off here. But before all that, we do have Drea to shoot first.
Yeah, so I think that's probably, it's got to be a shot into Countdown. No tokens, no funny abilities triggering at the moment for defense.
Well, I mean, Countdown
it's a good shot.
Does have a defensive ability. Oh, so that's just a basic attack there. I'd have thought maybe a plasma torp would have been good.
I think that is a charge on the astromech.
R5P8.
So spend a charge and reroll. I think if you reroll into a crit, you take a crit.
Yes.
If the reroll result is a crit result, suffer 1 crit damage.
Risky, but could be worth
Risky,
it.
but very scum.
Yeah. So no damage there on Countdown, but Countdown's ability is pretty good. So while you defend after the neutralize step, if you are not stressed, you may suffer 1 damage and gain 1 stress token. If you do, cancel all dice results.
Wait, sorry, it's cancelled all dice results.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
So save that for an advanced proton torpedo, if you ask me.
Looks like this is. Who's this then?
I didn't see.
Well, we'll see where the damage goes.
Oh, I think this might have been
just a retaliation shot.
I think it might have been Kestel doing the. I'm trying to see. It looks like 1 charge has flipped out on Kestel. And that is 2 damage onto green.
Okay.
So definitely trying to get rid of that targeted synchronizer. I don't blame. I think that might actually have been the shot from Countdown there, to be honest. But
yeah, there weren't any mods happening, so I feel like it might have been. Who's
too busy
next?
talking about upgrades there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
And also because they are all of 4 and Conor can choose the order, it's a little trickier to keep track of who's next.
Yeah.
Because it's going to change.
Oh, so actually I do think that was Kestel using a barrage rockets on the Amaxine. And
yeah, I
now
think
that's
this is Sabak. Gets the crit.
Whereas Countdown.
Not much else. Yeah. Oh, sorry, yes.
Oh, and that is a crit going through on the Amaxine already.
Oh.
Now, we had a lot of crits in last week's game, 13 to be exact. Wes actually completely ran through his whole damage deck.
Wow.
I know, it doesn't happen often. Let's see what we get there on the Amaxine. And that's not a good one to start. That's a whole breach.
As your first crit on a 5-hull ship.
So, until he repairs that, everything is crits.
I think he does have enough room to get past those ships and fix that.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good attack. That'll be a range roll from Countdown. So blocks the normal hit, and that's again on greens. That's 2 more crits coming through.
Really does not like that ship, does he?
No, first one is a wounded pilot. Second one is a fuel leak. There's some nasty crits. So wounded pilot.
But does Conor have anyone else who can shoot it?
I don't think so at this point, unfortunately. That's all of Conor's shooting. So, I mean, Quinn's now got the decision there. He can repair either of those cards, but I think you'd probably want to be repairing that hull breach first. So although you can repair the fuel leak, because everything comes out as a crit, that would actually trigger the fuel leak.
Yeah, with the hull breach gone, you're less worried about the fuel leak.
Yeah. Absolutely, because
then fix the fuel leak.
Yeah, because that hull breach into fuel leak is just devastating.
So it looks like this is the.
This will be the Amaxine back into Countdown, and there is a damage on Countdown. No need to try and get rid of any of those crits because, take a damage to nullify it because I only took 1. Must have been just out of range for the advanced proton torp there. Surprising.
Yeah, it might have just snuck out of the bullseye. So what we're looking for now, I think measuring for blue. I mean, I'm assuming going into Countdown, that seems to be where the fire is being focused. Yeah. Oh, I think that will be an advanced proton.
That's an advanced proton torpedo there.
And that's a good one as well.
Yeah.
4 hits and a crit. Can Countdown even live that?
That's actually on Kestel because that's from yellow. And Kestel can survive that as long as he doesn't get a direct hit. What does he get?
It's not a direct hit.
Oh, it's a fuel leak.
Well, I mean, on 1 health, that's not too bad. But
I mean,
you're now on 1 health.
Yeah, you're on 1 health. It's a nothing crit. Will he stay on 1 health or...
Oh, can blue finish the job?
Yeah. So I think if that advanced proton torpedo was on countdown, we definitely would have seen her ability trigger there.
Yeah, it looks like not using anything special, but it's a good roll.
Yeah, good roll. Another crit in there.
Needs paint on both dice.
Yes. That's not paint
doesn't
on
quite
both
get it.
dice.
Even with the focus. Doesn't roll a focus.
And so that
Kestel
is
gone.
another crit, which...
No barrage rockets to be seen.
No, which is a shame because I love barrage rockets. And that crit there was a loose stabilizer.
Which then pulls out another card for the fuel leak. Maybe we'll get to another damage deck in this game.
I mean, I'd be impressed with that, to be honest. It would have to be a very seriously convoluted situation to do that, as we had a lot more health on the Empire side last time with a Punisher, a Brute, and 2 Bombers. Potentially, Quinn could run through all of his damage cards.
Yeah.
Especially...
I'm trying to think what's the most amount of crits I've taken in like 1 shot. Actually, in the comments, if you can remember a time where you took a bunch of crits, list out the order of them. Or like roughly how many there were, because I'm curious to see what kind of chain reactions happened.
And just in case Quinn decides to let us know his situation, I'm gonna spoil it now. I managed to trigger 7 on Quinn in 1
Can
shot.
anyone top 7?
I had a range 1 shot with a silencer on an X-Wing, and it triggered Hull Breach was the first, and then there was just a combination of fuel leaks and direct hits in there. And it was just, I really wished it was on camera because it was just, you had to see it to believe it. It was mental. And that poor X-Wing didn't ever get to take a shot because it literally just got double tapped by 2 silencers. It was just like, yep, no, sorry, you're not in this anymore.
Yeah. Oh, look, we got some thermal detonators getting dropped. Or just one? No, it's both
2
getting dropped. I mean, why would you not just drop them both, really?
Yeah. I mean, I love thermal detonators. I think it was a really good inclusion. They're not like incredibly dangerous.
No, but I also like the idea that they are like the little handheld ones and someone's rolled down the window and just thrown them out the back.
Yeah. I mean, it is so cool. And they can be really effective, like as much as a deterrent as they are to actually cause damage, because obviously they can do nothing, strain, damage, or crit. So they're just fun. And
yeah, they're
cool
definitely more like controlling the space on the board rather than, oh, I'm going to kill you with this one.
Yeah, not like a cluster mine or proximity bomb, etc. Those ones, they are definitely more damaging. Even seismic charge is quite intense. But again, I do like thermal detonators, and they're a cheap upgrade as well. They're only 3 points.
Yeah.
But it does look like yellow is going to be eating both of those.
See, I figured yellow would be going past, but maybe trying to afterburners away.
Yeah.
But that's not really going to happen now, is it?
Oh, no, it is afterburning. Contraband cybernetics would have been triggered. Oh, no, it wouldn't fit, so...
Because you afterburners to the side a bit?
I think Quinn's electing to not do it in the end.
Fair enough.
I think he'd prefer to be more straight on rather than over it.
But yeah, not the best position for yellow.
No, but yellow is undamaged, so even if it is 2 hits or 2 crits...
And it is a good set of bombs from countdown.
Yes. But that's a nice, cheeky little potential block spot there for blue. What is the Amaxian Warrior doing? Is that also a 4K? Just avoiding that rock there, luckily.
Lands on the cloud, but doesn't really matter because you've already lost your action from doing the K turn.
Yeah.
Does land next to the bombs, though.
Does get a strain as well, so if anything,
but the bombs could potentially do crits because of the hull breach.
Oh, they would. And then that would trigger the fuel leak.
If either of them, so if either of the bombs do A damage, the Amaxian Warrior is gone, right?
Not.
If they both
do damage, the Amaxian Warrior is gone. If only one of them does it, he'll be left with 1 health as long as none of them are a direct hit.
Yes.
A lot of K turns coming out there.
And yet blue is sat right in the middle.
I still
really hoping to catch Countdown with a block of some sort.
Yeah. I like where blue is at the moment. It's a really good. It's controlling that part of the board there. Has that?
If the ailerons bump, you still get your regular movement anyway.
Yeah. Oh, that's a brilliant ailerons usage.
And it fit anyway.
Oh,
wow.
And that's
the sloop.
2 sloop. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it is still range. That's great.
Having not known where Quinn was going to end up with his ships, that's fantastic.
I mean, it is still range 1 of Drea in her dorsal turret arc, but still, that is great. And we've got Pure Sabak coming in. I'd like to think doing a 1 bank. No, also doing the 2 sloop.
Yeah, I think that's the safer play. Not knowing if the Y-Wings were going to just slowly roll in and then you just bump into them. And you get more distance between you and them for next turn's ailerons. Well, actually, no, they wouldn't do ailerons, would they?
Because they're stressed. But I also think that might put Pure Sabak out of range 3 of green and only within the arc of Drea. So that's
looks like those are the bombs going off.
I believe that's on the Amaxian Warrior. So that's a hit, which is.
See what crits turn up, because even the fuel leak cards is going to be another crit, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the fuel leak triggers that, so it will be 2 damage minimum. And just waiting for it to pop up on the overlay. It's a disabled power regulator and the blinded pilot. So that's going to be an ionized Y-Wing.
Well, I mean, if it even survives the round.
Yeah. And we lost 1 shield on yellow, and it also gained a strain. I mean,
so not too bad for yellow.
Yeah.
The Amaxian Warrior in the green, not looking too great.
But I think with the shots that everything else has, I don't think anything's going to be shooting it. I mean, you've got Drea and blue right there. I mean, although it would be nice to get rid of green, I think when you've got much better range shots, you kind of have to take them.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a lot of charges regained there with Cutthroat when green goes down.
True. Yes.
So
what could they get back? They get the R5 P8 charge back.
Advanced proton
torpedoes. That's a good roll.
Great roll on Countdown.
What is that? That's the dorsal turret out the side onto
Countdown.
Oh,
Will.
I mean, you have to, don't you?
Connor's forgot Countdown's ability there. And that's more crits.
There's still simultaneous fire, but wow.
Yeah, but one of those crits is a weapons failure.
Oh, no.
And the other one looks to be, although it says blinded on the thing, it's actually a panicked pilot. Because of the additional stress there. Countdown couldn't do it. Countdown was stressed.
Oh, of course. Yes.
So,
Conor knows his list.
Conor knows his list. I mean, that was just absolutely brutal.
And more crits.
Yeah.
Oh, come
that's
on.
just so horrible.
Like after getting the 2 blanks on the green and then you roll 4 attack dice and get 1 focus.
I think Conor needs to buy some new
Just
dice.
mean. That's better.
That would be from pure Sabak into blue, I believe. So that's
I think Dre is probably out of range.
Well, that's a hit and 2 crits into blue. These crits are coming flying.
See what these crits are.
Structural damage.
That's not good news for a Y-Wing.
And a weapons failure.
That's also not good news for a Y-Wing.
They're losing a lot of guns there. And not a great shot from Vermeil there, but that is 1 more damage onto blue.
So blue now has 0 agility and 1 attack dice.
Yeah. Unless he manages to get his advanced proton torpedo off.
True, he does still have that.
Would weapons failure actually reduce your...
I think it's only your primary weapon.
Well, it says while you perform an attack.
It's just an attack.
So I think that would also reduce your advanced proton torpedoes. Okay, weapons failure is even more brutal than I thought. We've got a range 3 coming from green into Vermeil, just debating if it's unobstructed. And I think
we'll see how many green dice get rolled. I mean, it's definitely range 3.
Yeah, I think they called it as not obstructed. So it'll be 2v3, and there is the ion
from the crit.
Not much happening there.
Yeah, not. It's a bit underwhelming after the amount of crits that were coming out earlier. Yeah. It's like, and then there's this shot. So.
Yeah, I mean, I say not much there. I mean, we've already had so much explosiveness there. I mean, the overlay is struggling with the amount of crits already.
It is a little, isn't it?
I mean, myself and Ben last week thought that we were going to have trouble, but this week it's just even worse.
I mean, I don't think the Amaxian Warrior is long for this world, especially with it being ioned and just knowing where they're going to be. But Connor's only got 2 ships.
Yes.
Granted that green and blue Y-Wings are low on health. Green is limping and blue is just crippled at the moment.
Yeah. But while we're waiting for them to get their dials down, so I think it's a good time to again remind you guys, if you do like what we're doing on the channel and wish to support us, we do have a Patreon with the link in the description below. Any support you can provide us will allow us to continue bringing you great games and more content. You will get exclusive content if you do join up to the Patreon as well. So as a Rebel player, Scum is obviously probably closer to your heart out of these 2, as that term is normally used for you as well. How are you feeling about Conor's chances right now?
Not great, just because of the number of ships on the board is still quite clearly against him. And the ships that are still healthy, okay, Vermeil and the Y-Wings have the same health, but Sabak is, we've seen Countdown and Kestel just go pretty quickly at this point.
Just pretty much eat it in one shot, which is
whereas
just
those
insane.
Y-Wings can just tank the damage.
Yeah.
We've also not really seen Vermeil do much so far.
He hasn't really been in a position to do anything.
We haven't seen a Vader trigger. Krennic has presumably been helping Sabak along the way.
Yeah.
But
it's a tough one, to be honest. So, but we'll have to see. I mean, we talk about the Y-Wings tanking a lot of damage. I mean, again, we just go back to the Maxim Warrior, and he's got 5 crits on there. There's 2 crits on on blue. It's just crazy that they're still on the board.
Yeah, there's not many ships that can take. There's not even many ships that can take 5 damage cards, let alone 5 crits, and stay reasonably dangerous.
I mean, that's the thing with this chassis, and it's similar to a lot of the chassis that the Rebels have as well. With you look at the B-wing and the X-wing, they've got a lot of health, so they take a lot of beatings to get rid of them.
Yeah, they go, look, you know where I'm going to be. I know where I'm going to be. I'm going to sit here, take the damage, and then I'm going to retaliate, or I'll shoot first and just take whatever damage you throw my way afterwards.
Exactly. I mean, that's why they say you never joust a Rebel list.
Yeah,
because it just definitely. Unless you roll great and they roll bad, it's probably not going to work out very well for you.
It's also nice to see a 4 Y-wing list where they don't all just have turrets.
Yeah, I mean,
Drea has a turret, but it's more to trigger her ability.
Yeah, it's not there to be, I've got the turret, I'm going to try and make sure I've got a shot near all points. It's more there to be, I am going to support my team, which feels more like a Rebel.
It does feel a little bit Rebel, doesn't it?
Tactic than Scum, but again, it works. And that's a Contraband Cybernetics 4K there.
Using up some more charges.
Getting the target lock, maybe hoping that it gets a bit closer so you can use the advanced proton torpedo. I mean, having that target lock to reroll 1 dice at the moment.
Yeah, not the best reroll.
And that's a bump for the Maxim Warrior due to being, well, that barrel roll from yellow getting in front of it.
I mean, in some ways, that's quite good because the opponent knows where you're going to be because you're ironed. So you purposely bump so you're not going to be there.
Yeah.
Granted, you've now put a ship where the other one would have been, but yellow is far more healthy.
Yeah. And the amount of strains on him as well is just crazy.
Yeah, he's not getting any evade dice, is he?
No. Well, nice little 1-4 there from Drea. Looking to potentially try and block Vermeil and or Pure Sabak there.
See, I think if the ailerons weren't a thing, then it might bump, but I think because it always going that way.
Yeah. Well, there's no Sabak doesn't need to do ailerons.
I was thinking more of a ailerons bank inwards and then a sharp turn to sort of end up in the gap between red and yellow, just really get in there.
Well, that's a nice 1 sloop there from Vermeil.
Yeah, that is you always see it on the die, you go, it's got a 1 sloop, but then you consider it's got to do its move beforehand. It's not. It's more like a 3 or sort of 2.5, isn't it?
Yeah, although the issue that I can see there is that there is definitely no arc there.
Yeah. Vermeil just, I don't know, it's a support ship, but it's not doing a lot to really support anyone.
Yeah. Oh, and that's a great shot from
Drea.
And that's more crits going through.
Right, see what these ones are.
Does he spend the focus?
To only take 1 crit?
It's a tough one.
I don't know, because you've still got all of the Y-Wings over there to shoot at him.
Oh, no, he's saving it. And what does he get as his crit? It's a damage sensor array.
Okay,
so
he's only really been focusing anyway,
Yeah.
Now, who is Sabak going to shoot? He was pointing at blue.
I mean, there's the option to get rid of blue, and then that's a shot that's not coming in at you.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that he's giving up the range 1 into Drea, but that's a good roll.
That is a very good
Makes
roll.
up for the blanks earlier.
Let's see what Quinn can do in response.
Nothing.
Bye-bye.
But that one green die from the range bonus.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
like,
that's
yay,
all
I
it
do
had.
get to roll, even though I've got all of these crits. But blue goes. So now that blue's dead, Cutthroat's going to trigger on everyone else.
Yeah.
So let's see. So Drea definitely gets the R5 P8 charge back.
I think Drea actually got the contraband cybernetics back, actually, because you've still got 2 charges.
The Maxine Warrior, I don't think has any charges to regain.
No.
And the hired gun, I think, also got the contrabands back.
I got the advanced proton torpedoes back.
Oh, of course, they'd already fired that. Cool.
So, I mean, it's a worthy sacrifice there to get all of that back. And they've all done work.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because you get one of your ships low and then you're really encouraged to use up some tokens just so that when they do die, you'll get those back.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's a very Scum thing to do of rewarding yourself for something going down. It's kind of like Dead Man Switch, but helps you more.
Yeah.
And we've seen Conor use Dead Man Switch really well. Ooh, this could be dangerous. So we've got the Maxim Warrior. Range 3, was that it look like?
It must be 3. Just checking through all the crits for any... I don't know. Green doesn't have the weapons failure, does
He's
it?
got nothing that affects his attack.
So,
but that's
crit.
another crit. Oh, and he's dodged it.
But now yellow's going to follow up.
Not like that. It's not, but he gets a reroll from Drea. And it goes through.
Oh. 1 health on Pure's back.
These dice have been really bad for Conor. Like, I mean,
you say that. His green dice...
Oh, yeah, yes. His green dice have been bad. And his red dice...
Other than that one roll, his red dice have actually been pretty good.
Yeah, I would actually, yeah, I'll scratch what I said. His red dice have been very good. Definitely above average. His green dice have been well below average, though.
This is why you never bank on your green dice being good.
Oh, that's because the green dice are horrible.
I'm pretty sure some of mine don't have paint on.
Yeah, it does feel like that
sometimes.
Oh no,
I've rolled double blanks. I'll use heroic. What have I re-rolled into? Oh, it's more double blanks.
Yeah.
Oh.
And luckily they wrote it into the card that you can't just keep re-rolling it until you get one.
Yeah, I think there's a few pilots who can. Like Han in the Rebels for flying the Falcon can re-roll with his ability like outside of other re-rolls, but
yeah. I mean it's tricky when you get those situations because you're like, right, at what point does it become too much? And when you've got like certain pilots who can do it, you're like, you know what, actually that's okay, because if like this one pilot can do it, like Han Solo, you kind of expect him to have something above the norm because it is Han Solo.
Yep.
And here's the one forward to victory for the Scum. Did that clear?
I don't think it did. No, there's no green tokens going on, no target locks.
No, looking for the target lock. So must have cleared.
Wow, alright.
That is impressive.
Looks like a target lock going on to the male to then synchronize onto everyone else. Oh no, with the R3 you can just go on both. What was that about?
What is... Well, that's contraband cybernetics being spent
so that's pretty okay.
4K.
Yeah. Now, has Sabak gone through that gap that's now opened up?
Yeah. I mean, what I find crazy is with that, the combination of Cutthroat and contraband cybernetics, potentially we could be seeing contraband cybernetics come back, so we could just potentially be seeing that Y-Wing pretending to be a defender.
Oh yeah,
and just going back and forth.
Thing is, you do still build up a lot of stress doing that.
Oh yeah, I mean, you do build up a lot of stress, and you don't have Corsella on there to mitigate that. She's a broken card.
She does need garden points probably.
Yeah. Right, so
Oh, choosing to ailerons that way.
typical bumps there.
So presumably some sort of sloop behind those Y wings.
Or
No.
no, must have been doing something that couldn't fit. So
Okay.
I'm not against that because it means there's only 2 shots coming in at it now.
Yeah, but you're
So
still much closer to Drea, who can.
yeah.
Well, I guess there's simultaneous fire, but still not great.
Looks like
Maybe a target lock into green to get the Krennic combo.
yeah. Guarantee green going down there.
I think they might just be double checking all of the words on all of those crits to see what's actually going on with that ship.
I think also checking because it's strained, is there any point I mean, you kind of argue, is there any point taking the target lock to try and just guarantee it? But looks like put that target lock on Drea instead so that Vermeil can benefit from that.
Yeah, I think that's the better choice. I don't think if Sabak can't kill the Amaxian warrior at this point, I don't think it was meant to be.
Also, interestingly, Vader was triggered on Drea, and Quinn elected to take the shield instead of losing the green token to not trigger Vermeil, which is good. And it's an R5 P8 reroll, so 2 hits on Pure Sabak. Bye bye, Pure Sabak. Wow.
Can he do anything whilst he's blowing up?
Oh, sorry. I mean, he's got him. He's got him
but
because
only
there's yeah.
Well, I mean, I was saying like, if he can't kill him, but he nearly didn't.
And obviously, with that being a hull breach there, that would have been another crit, but looks like they just put it straight face down. So
now it is Vermeil taxiing Vader and Krennic around against 2 pretty healthy Y-wings.
Yeah. I mean, Connor's
but we do get another cutthroat trigger.
Well, we do get another cutthroat trigger, and that is Contraband Cybernetics Reloaded.
Oh, yep.
And that's into Drea. So that is the last shield and a crit going through.
Oh, look, another crit.
The crits have not stopped. And that crit is...
That one, then?
Always being secretive with it.
He's already seen what it is. He doesn't like it.
No, it's a loose stabilizer.
Oh, not good for the Y-wing.
Not good for the Y-wing at all. But I mean, Connor's managed to not get like too far behind here on Quinn.
Now he's evened up the number of ships on the board. It's not looking nearly as bad as it was. Losing Sabak isn't great though.
No, I mean it's only 39 points at this point difference between them, which isn't the biggest difference. So it is still possible, and Vermeil is still fully healthy. And as we see,
he's not taking a hit.
Yeah,
but at the same time, he hasn't been in the fight. He's only just now got into the fight. Yeah. I feel like, at least.
But I mean, with his adaptive ailerons and Vader, he does have some good shenanigans in there.
Oh, he's got options, definitely. I just feel like he should have been doing them earlier on in the fight.
Yeah. I think coming through the obstacles was a bit tricky for him and didn't work so well. And I think he was trying to keep Sabak with him was maybe not the best option. I think.
Is this another cybernetics?
Oh, it does look like another Contraband Cybernetics 4K.
I think it will fit. But I think they are going to need to just move yellow out of the way for it.
Yeah,
that is a Scum Defender.
That's just crazy. How many K turns in a row there? I think that's
The funny thing is,
K
if
turns.
Drea also had the afterburners, she could do a boost now.
She wouldn't have been able to fit it anyway, but
Well, no, if Yellow wasn't there as
but
well.
yeah, I mean that would have been funny. With the fact that she's able to get that target lock anyway. So
yeah, that's very, very beneficial.
This does make it tricky for Vermeil as to where he's going to go.
Yeah, I mean, as we said earlier, knowing where everyone is before you move definitely helps with those ailerons. But at the same time, you've still got to do the move you dialed in. So there's still the usual guesswork involved.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's got to do the ailerons. And I don't know whether he was anticipating both of them being now on his left. So it could be, does he ailerons in and hope that his other move doesn't overshoot and then just get a shot into Drea and avoid that shot from Yellow?
Or just purposefully bump into Yellow sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I would love to see an ailerons boost to the left and then a sloop to the right.
Ooh.
But I don't...
Ailerons to the right. Okay.
And does that mean we've got the sloop to the left? We do have the sloop to the left.
Yeah, okay. So the ailerons, I think that, considering you've dialed in the sloop, I think that is the bit of a knock. It happens. Yeah, I think that's the best option you've got there.
We've got a Vader trigger. Who's it going on? Onto Drea. Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm assuming Drea is worth far more points than
yeah,
Yellow.
I mean, Drea's just got him 32 points.
Oh, true.
There.
That puts Drea at half health.
That's a plasma torp coming through.
I mean, for a plasma torp, not best, but got the target lock.
Yep.
And R5P8? No, okay.
No, but that will be both shields because obviously
you're guaranteed the shield as long as you hit.
Yeah. I do like plasma torps.
I do and I don't. I feel like whenever I end up taking them, I face ships that either don't have shields anyway or only have one.
Yeah, that is the downside. And they only have 3 dice as well, which is tricky. Oh, that's a crit spending. That's not great.
Also, I do feel like Quinn saved those plasma torpedoes for Vermeil.
Yeah.
Because again, it's the only ship that Conor has that has 2 shields. Oh, there's the green dice in this game. Just everyone needs to get new ones.
Yeah, new green dice for everyone, please.
Then again, a lot of red dice are getting thrown around.
Yeah. What is that? That's Panicked Pilot on Drea adding.
Who's just done the contraband
for the third time, adding to those crits. I mean,
well, no actions for her for a while.
Yeah. And reroll for Drea, 1 hit coming in, and that's another hit onto Vermeil. Keeping him above half though, so it's still.
Yeah, if Conor can either finish Drea or get half on the yellow hired gun, then I'm pretty sure that puts him in the lead.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 13 and a half minutes.
This is getting really close.
Yeah.
When it came down to just the male and the 2 Y-wings, I was like, okay, it's closer. But after seeing that, yeah, all right.
And the thing is, Quinn's got to be careful what he does with yellow, because Conor could just use that as an intentional bump to avoid a shot from yellow to concentrate on Drea.
Yeah. And also with the asteroid sort of just above where the ships are on the board, everyone's going to try and pile into that space to the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. Oh, contraband cybernetics being flipped there. 4K. That's a shame. I say that's a shame. That's really good from Quinn there. I think that was the absolute right call. He is going to pincer Vermeil so hard.
Yeah.
And what have we got? A 1 forward?
1 forward, maybe a bank.
Loose stabilizer will have to do a 1 forward.
Oh, of course, yes.
Drea did take damage earlier for
Going
doing the cave turn.
faster.
Doing the 3, interesting.
Really trying to sort of get in the way, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely going to be a bump there for Vermeil, I reckon.
Well, I don't know, because... Oh, no, there's no ailerons, is there?
No
'Cause it's
ailerons
stressed.
due to the stress.
Yeah. No, in that case,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's a
the
good move
wrong-
from Drea, because forcing the bump, especially there, gives yellow a great shot.
Yeah, that's the wrong way for Vermeil there. If Vermeil had gone
Although-
the other way...
Can't Vermeil just trigger Vader at this point, though?
Yes, I mean, Drea's definitely dead now. But
sacrificing that to get the bump to allow for a range 1 shot, also triggering Cutthroat to get another cybernetics back.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
I mean,
And we haven't even done any shots this round.
Cutthroat and Contraband Cybernetics have worked so well together, and Conor has actually now taken the lead for the first time in this game. Can he hold it? This is an advanced proton torpedo, though.
I mean, this could be it. It's close.
It's close.
It does have the target lock and a focus.
Oh, and that's another crit. That's 2 crits in there. Changing one because of advanced proton torpedoes. So that is...
Ow.
That's two hits and 2 crits guaranteed there. Oh, that's dead for Bill.
I mean, what a ending.
What a brutal
Like
ending.
The bump into Vader, into death, into a torpedo that you only got back through various cutthroats.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I'm disappointed in is that we didn't get to see a Y-Wing use afterburners.
We saw one try it.
Oh, that's true. They
unfortunately, yeah.
tried.
Wow. Damage sensor and damage engine now on Vermeil. That's
And a ton of
16
crits on the board.
16 crits. That is actually the most crits we've actually had in a game on the channel. Absolutely mental, that. That was just brilliant.
Yeah, that was
I
a
thoroughly
great
enjoyed
game.
that. Yeah, it was such a good game. Thank you, Quinn. Thank you, Conor. Really enjoyable. Why don't we see these ships more often? They just provide so much entertainment.
There's some real variety in having these other ships. Like, I know that all of the Y-Wings are the same ship, but the variety in like the upgrades they've got, the torpedoes, the cutthroat, the afterburners, that's so different.
Yeah. It just worked so well, and I think it was just really good to see 2 different styles of list just really throwing down. And I mean, not for lack of trying, Conor really put the hurt in on those Y-Wings. It's just, they are tanks. They can just take it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, that was a fantastic game. So, James, thank you very much for coming along and
Thank you
commentating
for
that.
inviting me to commentate on this game. That was a great one.
No worries. I'd like to try and give you all the really good ones. So hopefully we'll get some more in the future. But guys, thank you very much for watching. As I mentioned earlier, if you do want to support the channel, we do have the Patreon with the link in the description below. But this is actually the last game of the first year for Out of Arc Gaming, so plenty more to come next year. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next year.